Imagine a world where myths become reality, where legends whispered for generations come to life before our eyes. What if I told you that the most fantastic stories of antiquity were not just tales, but warnings about a future that is about to unfold? Get ready for a journey that will challenge everything you believe you know about our history and our place in the universe. In the next few hours, you will discover secrets kept for millennia, evidence that governments desperately try to hide, and a truth so surprising that it will change your perception of reality forever. Have you ever wondered why there are ancient structures that defy modern explanations? Or why cultures separated by oceans share eerily similar legends about gigantic beings? The answer to these questions lies buried deep within the earth, sealed away in caves that should never be opened. What you are about to see is not fiction. It's documented facts, scientific evidence, and testimonies that few have the courage to share. We are on the brink of an event that has been prophesied for millennia, the return of the Nephilim. But beware, once you know this truth, there's no turning back. Your vision of the world, of history, and of the future of humanity will be irrevocably altered. Are you prepared to face a reality that defies comprehension? If you have the courage to question what you've been taught, to look beyond the veil that separates the known from the unknown, then keep watching. Because what you learn in the next few minutes could be the key to humanity's survival in the times to come. The return of the Nephilim is not just a possibility, it's an imminent reality. And the knowledge you are about to acquire could make the difference between being a victim or a survivor at the dawn of this new age. Get ready for a revelation that will shake the foundations of everything you believe in. The future of humanity is at stake, and time is running out. Are you ready for the truth? In the depths of human history, there is a narrative that echoes through the millennia, whispering truths that many prefer to ignore. The story of the Nephilim, gigantic beings who once walked among men, is not just a mythological tale lost in the pages of time. It is an enigma that continues to spark questions and surprising discoveries in the contemporary world. Ancient texts tell us about these beings with disturbing clarity. The book of Genesis mentions their existence directly, describing them as heroes of antiquity, men of renown. But what really were these beings who left such a deep mark on human history that their stories persist to this day? The evidence suggests a much more complex and disturbing reality than many are prepared to accept. The Book of Enoch, an apocryphal text that provides extraordinary details about these creatures, describes how 200 angels, known as Watchers, abandoned their heavenly position, attracted by the beauty of human women. From this forbidden union were born the Nephilim, a hybrid race that combined angelic and human characteristics, resulting in beings of extraordinary proportions and abilities. But knowledge about these creatures is not limited to He, born the Nephilim, a hybrid race that combined angelic and human characteristics, resulting in beings of extraordinary proportions and abilities. But knowledge about these creatures is not limited to Hebrew texts. Ancient civilizations all over the world have preserved surprisingly similar accounts. The Sumerians spoke of the Anunnaki, divine beings who mixed with humans. The Greeks had their stories about demigods, the fruit of the union between gods and mortals. Pre-Columbian cultures preserved legends about giants who inhabited the land before the arrival of humans. The consistency of these tales across geographically isolated cultures suggests that something profoundly significant took place in our distant past. But why is this knowledge relevant today? Physical evidence is beginning to accumulate in an intriguing way. In different parts of the world, archaeologists and explorers continue to discover megalithic structures that challenge our understanding of ancient engineering. Monumental gates carved out of solid rock, with dimensions beyond normal human need, are found in remote and unexplored locations. In Turkey, ancient structures have architectural features that would be challenging even with modern technology. In Peru, complexes like Sacsayhuaman display perfectly fitted stone blocks, some weighing more than tons, moved and positioned with a precision that still intrigues experts today. These constructions raise fundamental questions. Who built them, and more importantly, who were they built for? The mystery deepens when we consider the sealed caves found on different continents. Elaborate systems of tunnels and underground chambers, many deliberately sealed with surprisingly advanced technologies for their time, suggest that our ancestors were trying to contain something or someone. Native American tribes preserve legends about giant red-haired warriors who inhabited the mountains, beings described as hostile and territorial. During the Second World War, intriguing accounts emerged from the campaigns in the Pacific. Soldiers described unexplained encounters in remote caves, experiences so disturbing that many refused to discuss them even decades later. These testimonies, although often dismissed as the result of combat stress, show remarkable consistencies with ancient local legends. Modern military preparation adds a fascinating layer to this mystery. In 2019, DARPA launched its Underground Challenge, a multi-million-dollar project focused on developing technologies for operations in complex underground environments. Officially, the program aims to improve military capabilities in underground urban and natural settings. But why the sudden investment in underground warfare? Leaked documents suggest that governments around the world maintain secret programs dedicated to investigating unconventional threats in underground environments. Classified reports mention anomalies detected in deep cave systems, phenomena that don't fit into any known category of military or natural threat. Jesus Christ's words about the last days take on new relevance in this context. By stating that the end times would be like the days of Noah, Christ established a direct connection with the period when the Nephilim inhabited the earth. This prophecy, combined with modern discoveries and unexplained military preparations, suggests a scenario that few are ready to contemplate. The Book of Jubilees, another ancient text, contains specific warnings about the return of these creatures. Throughout history, occult societies have obsessively sought knowledge about their resurrection. Esoteric texts speak of rituals and formulas to break the seals that keep these entities contained. What have these secret organizations discovered in their studies of ancient texts? Contemporary evidence continues to accumulate. Modern explorers document unexplained discoveries in sealed caves, ancient chambers with locking technologies that defy modern engineering. Military personnel on special operations report encounters with biological anomalies in remote locations. Indigenous peoples on different continents maintain living traditions about mountain guardians and forbidden areas that should never be disturbed. Modern technology offers new insights into these ancient mysteries. Advanced scanning equipment reveals impossible structures inside mountains. DNA analyses of archaeological remains show genetic sequences that do not correspond to any known species. Science finds its limits when trying to explain certain discoveries, forcing researchers to consider possibilities previously relegated to the realm of fantasy. The knowledge preserved by ancient civilizations takes on new relevance. Specific warnings about places that should never be disturbed appear in texts from cultures separated by oceans and millennia. These cultures share detailed descriptions of gigantic beings and the methods used to contain them. Why have societies with no contact with each other developed such similar protocols? Global preparation for something extraordinary seems to be underway. Military programs focused on underground combat are multiplying. Massive investments are directed towards the development of cave detection technologies and research into genetic anomalies. Governments establish specific protocols for dealing with uncategorized threats, a classification that intrigues security experts. Historical events gain new perspective when examined in this light. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, the mythological deluges present in various cultures, and other cataclysmic events seem to be connected to the presence of these beings. Ancient records suggest that these catastrophes were not just natural disasters, but deliberate interventions to contain threats beyond human comprehension. The advance of modern genetic engineering adds a worrying dimension to this scenario. Experiments with ancient DNA and attempts to recreate extinct species raise ethical and practical questions. Are we inadvertently recreating conditions similar to those our ancestors tried to eliminate? Ancient warnings about forbidden knowledge take on new meaning in the context of modern biotechnology. Traditional cultures around the world maintain specific practices related to the protection of certain sacred sites. Shamans and elders warn of the consequences of disturbing specific areas, describing phenomena that correspond eerily to ancient accounts of the Nephilim. These traditions, often dismissed as superstition, may contain crucial knowledge for our survival. anomalous weather patterns in specific regions, unexplained increases in seismic activity in remote areas, and archaeological discoveries that defy conventional history suggest that something is changing in our world. Modern testimonies of unexplained phenomena, many documented with current technology, correspond in a disturbing way to the ancient descriptions of the Nephilim. The convergence of ancient knowledge and modern technology points to a surprising reality. The signs described in ancient texts are manifesting themselves in ways that our ancestors would have recognized immediately. The question is no longer whether the Nephilim will return, but when and how humanity will respond to this return. The implications of this emerging reality are profound. Governments and military institutions seem to be quietly preparing for a scenario they officially deny. Increased investment in underground warfare technologies, advanced detection systems, and genetic research suggests knowledge that is not being shared with the public. The story of the Nephilim is not just an account of the past, it is a warning about the future. The same scriptures that documented their existence also predicted their return. Ancient cave seals, unexplained megalithic structures, and the knowledge preserved by traditional cultures form a mosaic that points to an unsettling truth. We are approaching a pivotal moment in human history. Evidence suggests that the Nephilim were not completely eliminated, but contained. The elaborate sealing systems found in ancient caves, the warnings preserved in sacred texts, and the traditions maintained by indigenous peoples indicate that these entities may be dormant, awaiting the moment of their awakening. The advance of modern technology may inadvertently be accelerating this process. Excavations in forbidden areas, genetic experiments that go beyond natural barriers, and the disturbance of sealed ancient sites may be removing protections established by our ancestors. The consequences of this interference may be more serious than we realize. Preparing for this emerging scenario requires a combination of ancient knowledge and modern understanding. Ancient scriptures were not just historical records, but survival manuals for future generations. The warnings about the days of Noah take on new urgency when we consider the similarities between that period and our present time. The return of the Nephilim may not be a singular event, but a gradual process that is already underway. Increasing reports of unexplained anomalies, surprising archaeological discoveries, and secret military preparations suggest that authorities around the world are aware of a reality they prefer not to discuss openly. Humanity is at a crucial juncture. Knowledge preserved over the millennia, combined with modern scientific discoveries, offers us a unique opportunity to understand and prepare for events that our ancestors foresaw. The question is not whether we are ready to accept this reality, but whether we can afford to ignore it. The ancient warnings about the Nephilim were not myths or legends, but accurate accounts of historical events and prophecies about the future. As more evidence emerges and more connections are established, it becomes clear that we are living in a crucial period of human history. The veil between the known and the unknown is becoming thinner, and the consequences of our current actions may have repercussions beyond our comprehension. Preparing for this uncertain future requires more than advanced technology or military power. It requires a deep understanding of the knowledge preserved by our ancestors and the wisdom to apply it in our modern context. The return of the Nephilim may be inevitable, but our response to this event is not predetermined. The time to understand and prepare for these realities is running out. The evidence is accumulating, the signs are multiplying, and ancient prophecies are beginning to manifest themselves in tangible ways. The question that remains is, will we be ready when the inevitable happens? The answer could determine not only our immediate future, but the fate of humanity as a whole. The complexity of the Nephilim phenomenon extends beyond physical evidence and historical records. Modern analyses of DNA found in archaeological sites reveal genetic anomalies that defy conventional explanations. Scientists have discovered genetic sequences that do not correspond to any known pattern, suggesting the possible existence of an uncatalogued genetic lineage that may have coexisted with Homo sapiens. The historical records of different ancient civilizations provide detailed descriptions of the physical characteristics of the Nephilim. They were described as beings of extraordinary stature, often with 6 fingers and toes on each hand and foot, possessing superhuman strength and, in some cases, advanced knowledge that surpassed human understanding at the time. These consistent descriptions across different cultures and historical periods suggest that we are not dealing with myths, but with observations of real beings who have left an indelible mark on humanity's collective memory. The megalithic structures found on different continents have characteristics that challenge our understanding of ancient engineering. Stone blocks weighing hundreds of tons, perfectly fitted together without the use of mortar, with precision that would be challenging even with modern technology, suggest the existence of knowledge and skills that have been lost over time. Even more intriguing are the architectural similarities between structures separated by oceans and continents, indicating a possible common origin or shared influence. The underground complexes discovered in different parts of the world have even more mysterious characteristics. Tunnels stretching for kilometers, with sophisticated ventilation systems and chambers that seem to have been designed to accommodate beings of much larger proportions than normal humans. Many of these complexes show signs of having been deliberately sealed, with containment technologies that remain effective after thousands of years. The presence of specific symbols and inscriptions on these underground structures adds another layer of mystery. Linguists and archaeologists have noticed recurring patterns that suggest a universal communication system, possibly predating the earliest known writing. These symbols often contain warnings about disturbing the seals and the consequences of releasing what was contained. The knowledge preserved by esoteric societies over the centuries gains new relevance when examined in the light of these discoveries. Hermetic texts and ancient grimoires contain specific references to rituals and procedures related to the Nephilim, including methods for their containment and, more worryingly, their possible resurrection. The fact that powerful organizations throughout history have devoted significant resources to preserving and studying this knowledge suggests its crucial importance. Modern military technology seems to be preparing for scenarios that it does not officially recognize. The development of sonic weapons, containment systems based on electromagnetic fields, and research into specific frequencies that affect unconventional biological structures indicate a preparation for threats beyond the normal spectrum of human conflict. Reports from military personnel on special operations reveal encounters with entities that do not fit into any known category. Descriptions of beings of extraordinary proportions, with physical capabilities beyond the ordinary and apparently immune to conventional weaponry, disturbingly echo ancient descriptions of the Nephilim. These encounters often take place in remote areas, close to ancient structures or underground complexes. Increased seismic activity in specific locations, particularly near ancient structures and sealed caves, suggests significant changes taking place below the surface. Modern instruments detect patterns of vibration and movement that do not correspond to normal tectonic activity. Some researchers suggest that these anomalies may indicate movement or activity of something contained in the depths. The proliferation of genetic modification technologies represents another, worrying aspect of this scenario. The ability to manipulate DNA and create hybrids between different species dangerously echoes the conditions that, according to ancient texts, led to the emergence of the Nephilim. Some researchers argue that modern genetic experiments could inadvertently recreate conditions similar to those our ancestors tried to eliminate. The knowledge preserved by indigenous cultures takes on new importance in this context. Tribes that have kept their oral traditions intact through generations speak of cycles of time in which giant beings emerge from their deep sleep. Their prophecies about specific signs that would precede this awakening correspond disturbingly to contemporary events. The convergence of extreme weather events, geological disturbances, and astronomical anomalies suggests that we are entering a period of significant change. Ancient prophecies spoke of signs in the heavens and on earth that would precede the return of the Nephilim. The frequency and intensity of these phenomena seem to be increasing, following patterns predicted in ancient texts. The role of modern technology in this scenario is ambiguous. On the one hand, it offers tools to detect and potentially contain unconventional threats. On the other, it can inadvertently accelerate processes that should remain dormant. The ability to dig deeper, explore previously inaccessible areas, and manipulate the very code of life may be removing established barriers for good reason. Preparing for a possible return of the Nephilim requires a multifaceted approach. Ancient knowledge must be combined with modern technology, spiritual understanding with practical preparation. The warnings preserved through the millennia were not just historical records, but guides for future generations to face challenges beyond normal comprehension. The increase in reports of unexplained sightings and encounters suggests that the veil between our known world and occult realities is becoming thinner. Witnesses in different parts of the world describe experiences that correspond to the historical characteristics of the Nephilim: extraordinary stature, superhuman strength, and a presence that inspires both awe and terror. The official response to these phenomena has been one of denial or minimization, but practical actions by governments and military organizations tell a different story. The establishment of underground facilities in strategic locations, the development of advanced containment systems, and the creation of specific protocols for unconventional entities suggests a deeper knowledge of the situation than is publicly admitted. The role of ancient megalithic structures in this context deserves special attention. Many of these constructions seem to have been designed not only as monuments, but as containment systems or portals. The precision of their construction and their alignment with specific celestial phenomena suggest a purpose beyond the mere demonstration of power or religious worship. The question of time is crucial in this scenario. Ancient texts often mention specific cycles related to the Nephilim, periods in which the barriers between dimensions become more tenuous and what has been sealed can emerge again. Calculations based on ancient calendars and astronomical observations suggest that we may be approaching one of these critical periods. Humanity's preparation for these possibilities remains inadequate. The knowledge needed to understand and confront these entities has been fragmented over the centuries, preserved in pieces by different cultures and traditions. The reintegration of this knowledge and its application in the modern context could be crucial to our survival. The near future may bring revelations that will fundamentally challenge our understanding of human history and our place in the universe. The return of the Nephilim, whether as a physical event or a manifestation of realities beyond our current understanding, represents a turning point in human history. Our ability to meet this challenge will depend not only on our technological preparedness, but on our willingness to accept and understand truths that challenge our conventional view of reality. The story of the Nephilim is not just an account of the past or a prophecy about the future. It is a warning about the consequences of overstepping certain boundaries and a reminder of the existence of realities beyond our current understanding. As we get closer to a possible meeting point with these entities, the wisdom preserved by our ancestors may be our best guide for navigating the challenges that await us. You have just plunged into one of humanity's greatest mysteries. The return of the Nephilim is not just a distant possibility, it is a reality unfolding before our eyes. The truth we're sharing today is just the tip of the iceberg. If this revelation has piqued your curiosity and you yearn for more occult knowledge, don't waste any time. Click on the subscribe button now and activate the notification bell. That way, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos, uncovering even deeper secrets and offering crucial insights for the times to come. Your decision to join us on this journey of discovery could make all the difference. Don't forget to leave your like. Every like helps us reach more people with these vital truths. Remember, knowledge is power, and in a world on the brink of monumental change, being informed could be the key to survival. Sign up now and be part of this community of truth seekers. The future of humanity may depend on it. Until the next video, stay alert and stay prepared. The return is near.